Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. Penny here. So today we are going to do a recipe that I call raisin tea loaf. So I'll start with the dry ingredients and Caitlin's going to help me a little bit with that. So in this larger bowl here, we have 1 cup of whole wheat flour. We have 1¼ cups of all-purpose white flour, and we have 1/4 cup of ground flax seed. That is so that we pump up the fiber a little bit and make it a little more diabetic friendly. So now, and this is our spices and whatnot. So we have in here 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and in the middle we have 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. So that all goes into our dry ingredients. Oh, I got a little bit of a sticky situation. There. So while I'm looking after the other things, Caitlin is going to gently mix all of that together so that it's evenly combined. Now, if you wanted to make this a sugar-free recipe, at this point then you would add about 3/4 cup of Splenda or stevia and 1/4 cup of skim milk powder. The Splenda needs the skim milk powder in order to do its thing, and you would just mix it up the same as you would sugar. But in this case, we're going to use 1/2 cup of sugar. Now, if you're not diabetic and you like things on the rather sweet side, you could bump that up to like 3/4 cup or even a cup. But we're going to use 1/2 cup today. Good job, dear Caitlin. All done? So I need your... Oh, Molly wants in. So in this bowl, which is our main bowl, we have 1/2 cup of butter. Now, it was in the fridge, so I've put it in the microwave for about 30-35 seconds so it's nice and soft. And now we're going to add our 1/2 cup of sugar. And to that, I'm going to add, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. If I can get the vanilla open. There we go. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And that's more or less a rule of thumb that I use. If I come across a recipe and it has a significant amount of sugar, and I still want to use the sugar, but I don't want to use Splenda, then I'll half up the sugar and add a teaspoon of vanilla. Because vanilla adds that nice sweet flavor without actually adding any sugar or extra calories. So, Caitlin, can you mix that up for me while I talk about our tea? So, in this bowl, I have 3 tea bags, 3 Tetley tea bags, which is an orange pekoe tea, but you can use whatever tea you like. If you like Earl Grey or something else, you go for it, whatever floats your boat. So what I did about 2 hours ago, I guess, was I put in 3/4 cup of currants. Now the recipe calls for raisins when I originally did the recipe. However, didn't have any raisins in the house today, but I have lots and lots of currants. And I kind of prefer currants anyway because they're not as sweet as raisins. And then on top of that, I poured 2 cups of boiling water, and then I covered it and just let it steep.
Why did you put tea bag in there?
Because it's a tea loaf. That's the name of the recipe. So that's what's in this bowl. And what will happen with the currants or the raisins, or if you like dried apricots, whatever other kind of dried fruit that you like, you can certainly use. Once they're steeped and cooled, then you can take the tea bags out, and that part is all done. So now, Miss Caitlin, we're going to put this in the main bowl. So move over a little bit. And I got a little bit on the counter. Of course I do. Of course I do. There we go. You stir that while I get the tea towel. Excuse me, Caitlin. I just want to get that bit of... There we go. Now our butter is going a little... Our butter is going a little hard because that liquid was room temperature. So we're just going to beat it up a little bit more. So now we're going to add, do you want to get the quarter cup right there, the small cup? There you go. You want to put some in here for me? There we go. We will eventually switch to the spatula or a wooden spoon, whichever you're using. But just to get this incorporated with the butter and everything and the currants, I'm just going to use a whisk for a little bit. There we go. That's looking really good. Cool. The oven is preheated to 350. And we have just give me 1 second now, Caitlin. We have a bread loaf all ready, greased, ready to go. Now, if you wanted to turn this into muffins instead of a loaf, you could easily get 12 medium-sized muffins, and they would bake in about 20 minutes or so. This is going to bake for about 55-60 minutes. Okay, here we go. There we go. Come on. Good job. So I'm just going to gently fold this in. Keep going. There we go. Okay, do you think maybe you can pour the rest of it in? There you go. Don't touch the batter. Perfect. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Caitlin. And we're just going to fold in the rest of the flour. Caitlin's going to clean up because she is a pro cleaner-upper. She is awesome. Okay. And that is that. We shall put it in the pan. And this recipe you could easily double. Oops. You could easily double, if not triple. But I wouldn't go any more than triple, because typically once you go past tripling a recipe, then the ratios of flour and baking soda and salt and all of that kind of stuff kind of changes a little bit. But you could easily double and maybe triple. So that's it. I'm going to put that in the oven for an hour. We're going to let it sit on top of the stove for about 5-7 minutes after I take it out. And then we'll take it out of the pan and let it cool on a rack. And then we'll be back. Hi everybody, back again. So our tea loaf is ready. It's still a teeny tiny bit warm. It was in the oven at 350 for 55 minutes. Depending on your oven, it might take 55, 60, 65. So just make sure you have a check on it. You can press it, see if it bounces back to see if it's ready, or you can take a toothpick or a skewer and put it through the middle, and if it comes out clean, you're good to go. So I let it sit in the pan for about 5 minutes or so, and then I turned it out, put it on a wire rack, and it's been cooling for a little while. So we're gonna cut it now. Nice sharp knife. And ta-da! Look at all those beautiful currants. Can you see? Isn't that pretty? A little bit of butter, nice cup of tea, and Bob's your uncle. I hope you give it a go. Enjoy. Bye.